up, though? This is Reyes Poetry. We're here at the Hollywood Casino at Greektown, and this is the Culture Suite. It's a series of interviews with creatives from across the city on our way down to South by Southwest Music Festival. And I'm here with my co-hosts.
Jessica.
Xavier. I go by Barely Hispanic on the internet.
And, we're here with one of our great friends, Ruby. We're going to get into this, right? We're going to get into this conversation. And you got all cameras are your cameras.
All the cameras.
Yeah, so, we've been here for the last few weeks just talking to different artists and performers and just asking them not only about their music, but their influences and what they're drawing from. So what is inspiring you currently as a creative? Like, what are you pulling from, and I know you are a visual artist and performer, so you can talk in both lanes.
Yeah. Well, first of all, thanks for having me here. This shit is lit as fuck. Like, I can't wait to get drunk tonight, personally. But what's been inspiring me creatively, I've been really deep in my art bag lately. So, I'm really thankful for, the community that I have. Everybody's been showing me love. Shout out to the Breakfast Club, Fine Arts Club of Detroit. But I would say, family specifically and friends. I'm really inspired by those who have, cultivated me. They have so much culture in them type shit, and I really want to I want to share that story. I want to share them. Them niggas are cool as fuck. My mom, that nigga is so lit. Oh my God. And she's so beautiful. And just hearing her share stories about her when she grew up and everything, I want to share that with the world. So it's just my people around me is what inspires me.
I've been seeing you do a lot of galleries. You also perform. Does it give you the same vibe? Those are two very different art forms on display.
Yeah.
Do you how do you compare them? Do you prepare for them the same?
That's so crazy. So no, they're different but the same. Both I feel like I'm being watched and viewed. Even in a gallery space, the biggest one I was in was the Something to Prove gallery exhibition curated by Ocean Williams. That I felt like everybody was like, "Hey, yo, you're Ruby, right?" It's the same thing. I still feel like I'm on the stage, and I think preparing for those, literally I'm painting the pictures. It takes time. It literally takes weeks for me to paint these pictures. So I feel like that's different from preparing for an actual show where I'm performing, I'm singing. Although it does take time as well, but luckily I have my band and my musicians that are along with me that already know my music. Yeah. That, they can get on, we can have one rehearsal and it's straight. We got it, But in terms of still being I hate to say it, a little spectacle. It's still the same. It's still the same.
So what about the preparation when you're writing a song or creating a song? How is that compared to so it takes weeks for you to paint? What about how long does it take for you to write a song or create something that that's performance ready?
Okay, so I'm not gonna. Those two are the same for me. Okay. I'm realizing I'm the type of person that needs space to go in and hide and cocoon myself to think about what I'm even gonna start. With art, dog, I have mad ideas. I literally will have to sleep on it. I'll have to sleep and then I'll wake up and be like, oh, I think I could start that, but then I still won't start it until maybe a week or two from now,
This is what I like to hear. Fuck all the artists that are productive and on time and good with schedule. Fuck that. You know what I mean? I need to fuck up my life so I can make the good, pretty art.
That's right.
I need the heartbreak to produce it. It's interesting that you say that because I've seen you write music. I've seen you not write music.
I've seen you not write music more. No, but
I have seen you not only compose your own songs or just freestyle, but do a whole you helped a whole album compose and bring different pieces for songs together without nothing. No vibes. Just those two actually.
Loki. Yeah. Hi guys, my favorites. It's Burton Free.
So like right now, you know, your experience. So you're getting both, right? So like for me as a creative, sometimes I'll have this idea and I almost feel like I have to bottle it because I don't want to lose it.
Yeah.
Because like especially as a writer, like I like doing poetry, I write. And I'll think of a line, but I'm like, no, I don't want to continue because I feel like I'll lose it.
Yeah.
Do you feel like that's part of your process that you're holding, or are you just procrastinating because it's not ready?
I be procrastinating because I feel like shit.
Yes.
I know, but people gotta hear.
Period.
Right? Look, this is what happens on social media, right? You just see the high production.
Hell no.
Right? Like people need one of the things we've been talking about on the show is mental health, is the pitfalls, are the mistakes, because a lot of times in our interviews, right, we're just trying to put our best foot forward. So we want to hear that process, right?
Man, look, I got so many foots. They be stepping forward sometimes, they be stepping back, they be stepping to the side. I have, you know, like, so it's a lot of different, I feel like I'm still new in this shit. You know, I mean, I've gone through trying to find like what I like to do throughout high school and shit like that. So now I'm just cultivating actually, okay, this is what I want to do. I know I want to do music and art. I'm just finding out how I want to do these things now. Like I know I like to paint realistic pictures. You know, I was actually just having a conversation with somebody and I was like, you know, that's low key not even my favorite thing to do though. It's not. It's actually so fucking taxing because I'm like going in and with every single fucking detail, I'm like,
If it don't look like somebody, they gonna be pissed.
you know, and no, fuck them. I'm gonna be pissed. Like I'm like, God damn, I spent all this damn time. But what's really relaxing to me is like the shit that's not super detailed, like the shit where it's literally blocks of color. That's what's like super soothing, and I'm like, I know at the end of it, I know I'm gonna be satisfied. Yeah. Because it wasn't so taxing mentally. And I think it's just a matter of like finding where I want to put the pressure at in my life and in my artistry. Yeah. And I know I can do the super realistic stuff. I know I can do the super lax stuff, but now I'm just in a process of like cultivating how I want to mix both of those so I'm not like taxed at the end. Like the last show I had, bro, I was like, I'm not painting for 3 weeks. I'm low-key. I'm in the 4th week now. I'm getting back to it, y'all.
Now you're going to be in the DR.
It's okay. It's okay.
So. Yeah,
it's
breaks,
okay.
Breaks are good.
Breaks are so good. Yes.
I think it's very easy. Like, this is a thing that I think comes up often because I think it's something that we all go through. But it's just very easy to find yourself doing a thing that isn't your favorite thing because it's either what people have come to expect or it's what people saw from you, and so that's what they want still. Yeah. You know what I mean? I think like it's very easy for like people are surprisingly not even like reluctant to change, but they just kind of like what they like, you know, and like what they see, and I think it's very easy to like, again, like you said, get stuck doing the stuff that isn't even the most fulfilling for you. You know what I mean? Yeah,
that's crazy. I was just talking about this with somebody last night. Like, it's low-key like a validation thing. It's like, goddamn, like I know this is why I got on. So I gotta like stay with that, you know? So people don't be like, God damn, what the fuck's she doing? But it's like, at the end of it, you know, I feel like if you fuck with the artist and the artistry itself, then it shouldn't matter, you know. So I'm just really excited to be here, honestly. Like I don't know, I'm literally in the beginning of my career. I don't know what the fuck is gonna happen. So I'm just lit, y'all.
Yeah, especially for like visual art, right? That arc is different than maybe like performative.
So different.
It's a different arc, right? Even though it's not necessarily fair on the performance side, it's just the shelf life that we're used to in hip hop and R&B and neo soul is different than maybe a visual artist. I mean, I know visual artists that are like in their mid 40s that are now just kind of finding their style, right? Whereas performer, you kind of supposed to expect it to be that out the gate. Yep. So on the performance side, like, what do you feel like? What were you listening to that inspired you? Like, what are the artists, or like, we talked to other artists and some of them, their parents were kicking them music, and you know, like, so what for you? Where did you draw your inspiration, or where do you draw your inspiration from musically?
All over the place, honestly. Like so many others, my mom, I remember one Saturday, bro, blasting Amy Winehouse, like, and I was like, damn, who was this? She showed me. I'm like, okay, cool. Like, but then my mom had this computer, this old ass computer. She had a bunch of like illegally downloaded music and stuff, and I found the Kanye West album. I found Graduation. And then I found the Mos Def album, Black on Both Sides, and crazy album. And I'm like, damn, this is what music is, and I like it, like off the gate. Like, so my mom's influence in music, my sisters, and then once I got a little bit more freedom, I started to go down the rabbit hole of YouTube, found out who Flying Lotus was. Honestly, like singers, I would say that I was really inspired by Nina Simone for sure. And you know, I mean, of course, like the Jasmine Sullivans, the Brandys. I really like Donny Hathaway as well. Like,
so it's like different eras too that you're listing. You know?
Yeah. It's so many. Like, I mean, even James Blake, like, just his style of music, it's so like his vocals are so simple, but his actual instrumentation is so complex, and that's what I really like about music. I love alternative R&B, jazz, acid rock, whatever it is, brother. I love it all.
So what for you? You know, we went overseas together as a group. I think, like, specifically, like, for us, is like, as we've been talking, is like, what, as a Detroiter, as a black woman specifically, for your experience going overseas, like, how do you feel your music was received, and how did that impact you, right? Did you ever think, you know, you'd be in Europe so early? Because, like, I'm sure some people think I'm going to get there, but, I mean, you're relatively young to be traveling overseas, right, and having, like, an impact. So.
Yeah. No, that was crazy. I'd never expected to go so young. I really didn't. Like, it was crazy. Literally, okay, this is my experience and how I ended up going. I'm drunk as fuck. I'm at Deluxe Flux. I run into Reyes.
This is like a bad start. The fact that this story has a happy ending is really is quite surprising.
I'm like, oh my God. I see Reyes. He's like, come to Europe. I'm like, okay, all right, for sure. Literally hits me up a week later, and he's like, okay, we're going to Europe. So
you're like, oh, you're serious about that?
Yeah. I was like, okay, all right. And it was crazy. I was literally going through a whole life change, and being able to go to Europe with so many different creatives in my city that I've always heard about. Like, I've always seen you around and heard about you, but like actually hanging out with this guy, he's like the funniest nigga I've ever met.
That's why he's sitting right here. That's why he's sitting right here.
It's so funny. Like, he's quiet, but when he talks, it's some shit, you know? And then Shakoy, like, I've always seen you around and like,
Yeah, we had weird, like, adjacents. Like, we would always, like, randomly be in the same room.
Yeah.
Or no, like, oh, you know, no, like, so-and-so. Or, like, oh, we would be on, like, same shows kind of sometimes. Or in the same spaces, but it was never that, like, hey, I know you.
Camaraderie.
Like, yeah.
Like, being in the same space with these people for a month, it was amazing. Like, I got a whole new family, like, on some real shit. But I think the most memorable moment for me was our first show that we had at the hostel, and it was like a bunch of little kids and stuff, and it was this little black girl. She was so cute.
Oh my
God. It was her and her sisters, but they were like dancing like front stage, like, and the girl, she was like lit the whole time, like didn't know none of the words.
She was the biggest fan that night.
Yes, but it was so fucking cute. It was like, it was important because it was like she was seeing her on stage, and
blue braids,
like she was lit as fuck. But she was seeing her, like, especially when she saw me, Spade, and Shakoy. It was like wow, you know. But I think that was really cool because it's like, I mean, honestly, when I went out there to Germany, before I went out there, I was expecting to see a bunch of tall white men.
There were some.
There were some.
Yeah.
Zimone, shout out Zimone. But I think when I got out there, I was surprised to see the Black community. Like, so many different, like, it's Africans, it's Jamaicans. We went to a whole Jamaican village in Berlin. Like, that was crazy. But I think it was received well. Like, I think it's way more diverse than I thought it was, you know, like, especially in Berlin.
Yeah, I think for us, it was the same when the first group that came out, right? Mm-hmm. You say, oh, the Germans are coming to, you know, Detroit.
Yeah, they came here first.
Yeah, and then, you know, like, they come out and it's a bunch of Black and brown Germans, different shades, right?
Yeah.
So, like, for you traveling, like, what do you think the impact is for your circle, right? Like, your sphere of influence. Do you, like, is that, because now they've seen you go, right? Mm-hmm. Like, do you think that has an effect on your friend circle about, like, what is possible?
Oh, yeah, absolutely. Absolutely. Like, honestly, even with my roommate, like, she's been getting more in her creative bag, you know, and I love to see it. Like, and even the little opportunities that I have in the city, it's like, it's impacting my peoples around me. It's like, oh, like, now they can get into this space, and it's like they're meeting and they're networking as well. And just being able to provide those opportunities for my people, like, that's amazing. Like, I can't wait to see how many branches grow from, like, me. Yeah. But also, like, and them growing their other trees and their other, you know, lineages. Like, yeah.
So we have a trip coming up to the Dominican Republic. Mm-hmm. So what are some things you're thinking about, because you got some time to prep for that trip?
Yeah,
but we are going to Latin America, and, you know, it is a very Black country as well. Mm-hmm. And we're going to be spending some time, like, on a farm.
Yes.
Partly. We are going to some venues.
Are we feeding chickens and stuff?
Don't get Ruby fucked up. She down with that shit.
It's a full farm.
Hey, Ruby's down.
So we do have cows. We have a full farm. It's like not a garden. It's definitely a farm. But yes, we have animals, pigs. We're going to be doing all of that. But Liz is going to lead that.
I am so excited for that.
The other co-director of We Are Culture Creators is leading that. So.
I was honestly hoping that it was that.
It is.
Like, because I'm like, you guys said a farm, and I'm like, is it a farm? Like,
Old McDonald.
Oh, no, it's a farm.
Old McDonald.
What did he say, Old McDonald?
It has everythit that the DR offers: spiders and tarantulas and giant moths. Oh, yes, they do.
They do. But so I'm curious, like, because I think obviously, like, it's multifaceted, but the fun thing oftentimes about going to Europe is, like, you know, like, Black American culture is the culture, like, globally. Like, that is the export. Like, the music, the style, the fashion, the everything. And, you know, Detroit is definitely one of the centers of that. And I'm just curious, like, one, here in the city, like, how you feel. Because in so many ways, you know, I had this same conversation with Andre, just because I think in my head, you two occupy a similar space, just being these very, like, multifaceted artists that are, like, you're Black, you grew up here, like, you've lived here your whole life. There's something so Detroit about you, you know what I mean? Yeah. About him. I'm curious, like, just how you feel, like, growing here as an artist, like, still being here, obviously, like, you know, you're old enough, you could leave.
I could,
could. And you're getting to travel, and you're getting to see other, you know, places. But I'm just curious, you know, where Detroit sits for you, like, as an artist, like, as a home place and a place that you're still growing, and a place you get to, like, come back to when we go to these other places, you know.
Like, how it influences me?
Yeah, like, where how much of a role you think it plays in the stuff that you do?
I think it plays a big role, because for one, I was influenced by the people here. You know, I guess it's not necessarily the place, but it's the people in this space that have influenced me. So I would say, as long as I can remember those things and those people and the lessons they've taught me and and the things I've learned from them, then I can always be home and remember where that home is for me, you know. It's a call away, honestly. Like, that's how I think of it. Yeah. So
there's also just, again, it's funny, whether it's Europe or now, like, the Dominican Republic, that, like, Liz is from Detroit, and she's out there. You know what I mean? That they're just, like, there is always, like, oh, I'm still home, even though I'm in a completely different place.
We even met people from, like, remember we would just walk to the club. Ruby the best club goer ever. The girls. Not gonna lie.
That's a rated PG version, if I ever heard one. But yes, you're like, yeah. I heard you struggle with it right now. You were like, yeah, it's good. You were gonna say it, but you didn't.
What did I say?
You know why. Go ahead. Continue.
I don't even remember what I was gonna say.
Running into Detroit.
Club.
Oh, you just were talking about how, like, meeting people. I think you're really good at also just finding connections. Like,
we found people from Detroit in Europe. You just was like, where you from? Like,
easily, quickly. How do you think that has influenced your ability to kind of, like, I feel like I've seen your work, especially recently, spread quickly too, and just you're out there. You're doing it.
I don't know. I think I've always been a social butterfly. Like, I like making people feel comfortable in my space, because I know how it feels to not feel comfortable in a space. Yeah. Especially, like, when people are like, yeah, just being bitches. Like, you know, like, not just treating somebody else different just because they're new in the space. It's like, damn, bitch, you don't even know me. So it's like, I want to do that. I want to make everybody feel okay as themselves in a space. And I love people. I can't lie. I like how they look. I like their ideas, and I want to get to know them more. So what better way to do that than to talk to them, you know?
So what do you have coming up? What are you working on?
Child, hold on. I have so much that I'm doing. Hey, Diego, what the fuck? I'm sorry. I know him.
I sent it to the wrong place.
Yeah.
My bad, bro. My bad.
Motherfucker on the Easter egg.
Okay, so I have a couple of projects. I'm actually getting ready for my big solo show coming up in June, y'all. It's gonna be at the Harper Galleries, curated and hosted by Henry Harper. And then before that, in May, I have another show. It's gonna be both me singing and, like, exhibiting art.
I've been waiting for it.
I've
been waiting for
you guys.
crossover.
I'm waiting till you cross over like an extreme crossover. I want you to turn the knobs on the little thingy that you be doing when you be in. Look, I want you to go. I'm waiting for it.
It's in the works. So it's gonna be at the Talking Doll space with Constance and Kendra, their sister duo. But it's called the Potluck. That's the event that they're throwing. Yeah, it's so cute. But their concept with the potluck is everybody has something to offer and bring it to the space, and we can all learn and share. So yeah.
Except for raisins.
I fuck with raisins.
Yeah. But do you in potato salad though?
No.
Oh, no.
Okay, that's what I was saying.
Nah.
All right.
Like out the box, straight out the box.
Nah. I mean, but not potluck like that, but like potluck like
I know.
You bring your arts.
That's dope. And then, where can people find your work? Where can they find your music? Where are your shout outs? You know, wherever we can find you. Where can we find you?
Okay. Well, you can find me on Instagram at Ruby Flwrs. That's flowers without an O or E, so FLWRS.
That's how the cool kids do it. No vowels.
Yeah.
Real
skater of you.
Yeah, that's really the only place I be at, for real. Look at my bio, see what else is coming up. Just stay connected to me. Please look at my story. I feel like that's where the life of the party is. Honestly, you're just gonna find me dancing.
What is this, Shakoi?
That's our Chillbean.
Hey, it's a Chillbean. This Chillbean is one of our sponsors on our way to South by Southwest. Make sure you check them. This is the Culture Suite. We are on the 28th floor of the Hollywood Casino at Greektown. thank you so much for being one of our guests.
Of course.
This was great, man.
Thank you guys. I really appreciate this.